Alrighty, welcome. This is Crazy J. I am basically going to help anybody out that is having issues with building their own coils and what not. So hopefully this helps out a lot of you all. Basically, you will need a few things. You will need your hands. You'll obviously need a device that holds your batteries, a RDA, some coils, or wire, I guess I should say. You will need a pair of pliers, but instead of pliers, I will be using these, which are basically medical. It is a medical clamp. I have several different pairs. I have one that are kind of thin at the front. I have a bent pair, and I have a little bit thicker pair. So I have family that works in the medical field, so that is how I was able to get these. You will also need, instead of pliers, that's what I'll be using. And then when I put in my coil into my RDA, I try to make it look as beautiful as possible. As you can tell, it looks really good. Let me see if I can get my camera to focus on it. You can tell it looks really clean. I just put it in about 2 hours ago, so it should look pretty clean. But as you can tell, my right one is firing way faster than my left one. But my left one does start firing, it just takes a little bit. But as you can tell, if you look on it, my right one looks darker than my left one, that is why. I am going to basically build a new coil for it and basically junk that one that I just put in not too long ago. Yes, very, very depressing. You will also need some cotton. I am going to be using this Japanese organic cotton, and I will also be using hopefully it's in my kit still. I'm also going to be using a 3mm, let me focus, a 3mm screwdriver. I have these metal ones, and I also have some plastic ones. So I have several different pairs. I've tried a bunch of different pairs just to see which ones work best. And it really don't matter. I mean, you can get whatever type you want. And I will also, this is like I said, a 3mm, and then this is a 2.0mm, 3.0, 2.0mm. So I'm going to be using them mainly. I'm not going to be using these other ones. I'm going to be throwing out of the way. You will also need a pair of scissors. You will also need some nail clippers. I'm going to exchange that one for this one. This one is a Phillips head. This one is a flathead. Obviously, flatheads are harder to use. Phillips are easier. Always go with the Phillips. Don't ever try to really put a flathead screwdriver back into the coil. After you basically set it, it is kind of hard and not too fun. I am going to also be using a pair of these scissors and some long scissors, and I am going to, the reason why I do that is because my RDA, the center post tends to twist, so it kind of is a pain. So that is basically all my tools I am going to be using to make another coil. What we are going to do first, I'm going to move my lights around a little bit. Ow, damn, this is a hot light. There we go. can tell, my lights are a pain. Ooh, that would have sucked pretty bad. Okay, so I got my coil, I got my wiring, I got everything I need now. So I'm going to basically just move some stuff around. And I'm going to pick what coil I want. I'm going to go with I want about a 0.7 to, or 0.6 to 0.8 ohm coil. I'm going to go with a smaller gauge wire, so I'm going to go with 28 gauge wire. I'm going to get a pair of my little clamps. Let me make sure this is completely focused. As you can tell, I scribble it in 28 gauge on all my stuff. 28 gauge, 26 gauge, whatever gauge that is, I have no idea. I think it's like 20 gauge, 22 gauge. All I know is it's really thick wire and it's a pain to work with. So I don't really use it often. So what I do is I will take my coil. I need about, I'd say about 10 inches. Oh no. Yeah. I don't know. Let's just eyeball it. I'd say that's about good. That's about almost a foot of wire. Take your scissors. Cut. I'm going to put my spool back up, which I use only Canthal wiring, so this is Canthal, just so you know. And I'm going to move my stuff so it looks good, nice and neat. Okay, now, there we go. I got my wiring. I'm going to straighten. As you can tell, this has, it's kind of bent. My wiring has, little nicks right there. Has a little bend, as you can tell, right there. And it's not really perfectly straight. So what I'm going to do, I basically put some tape around a screwdriver that I don't really use. And I push my thumb, the wire, onto the screwdriver with my thumb, and I go upward. Just like that. I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I go about 7 times, and if you see, it is basically pretty darn straight. And then what I do is I will take it, I will hold this wire about right there, and I will go up very, very slowly and bend it. There we go. Now it is bent. Take my scissors, snip. There we go. There's one wire, and there is my other wire. And I'm going to go ahead and put this wire on that's its own little clamp. And then I have this one. So, tune in for part 2, and I will show you how to wrap the coil on the 2 or 3. I will be going with the 2mm screwdriver. It is just the way I want it to be a little bit smaller than I did last time. The reason of this is because I just like smaller ones. I don't know why, I just do. I like my coils to be a little bit smaller, which, I mean, I don't need it to be smaller. I mean, it fits perfect, this is 3mm, and it fits fine. I have no problem with it fitting. I just prefer it to be on a little bit smaller. Which, if you look at these two, they're really not that much of a difference. I mean, it's really not. It's not that much of a difference. It's a little bit, not much. But I am going to go with the 2mm. So tune in on my next video, part 2, and I will be talking about how to wrap it. I know I'm going to do all my videos in basically segments because I do not want them to be very long. And yeah, so thanks for watching part 1. Go to part 2 and you will see how I wrap my coil, and I will also help you wrap your coil.